All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to tackle one of the most important, most fundamental building blocks in all of programming, the array. Seriously, if you can get this concept down, you're unlocking the power to handle massive amounts of data with no sweat. So let's kick things off with a question. Just imagine for a second, you're building a program for a teacher and you need to store 100 different test scores. How would you even begin to do that?
I mean, you could create 100 different variables, right? Score 1, score 2, score 3, all the way to score 100. But wow, that would be so tedious and messy. And just think, what if you had 1,000 scores? It would be a total nightmare. There has to be a better way. And of course, there is.
And that better way is the array. I want you to think of it as the ultimate container, a tool that was practically invented to solve this exact kind of problem.
So what is it, really? Well, at its heart, an array is just a simple, ordered list of values. It's like a single container, maybe a long box with little compartments, that's built to hold a bunch of items all in one place, all under a single name.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's get our hands dirty and see how you actually build one of these things. We're going to create our very first array right here, right now, step by step. It all comes down to one line of code. First things first, you have to declare it. You tell the computer what kind of data you're storing, in this case, int for integers. Then you use those square brackets to say, hey, this is going to be an array. And finally, you give it a name. We'll just call ours A. Next up, you use this special keyword, new. This is you telling the computer, okay, I need you to actually go and set aside some memory for me. This is the command that gets the space ready.
Here's a great way to think about it. If you've got 5 guests coming to your house, you can't just wait for them to show up. You have to get 5 rooms ready for them first, right? Well, that new keyword is you preparing those rooms before your data arrives.
And the last part is you telling the computer exactly how much space you need. By writing int 5, we're saying, please reserve enough memory for exactly 5 integers. And boom, that's it. The full line, int A array equals new int 5 semicolon, and our array is officially created.
Now, here's something that's super important. Every single array, and I mean every array, no matter what programming language you're in, lives by 2 fundamental, non-negotiable rules.
Rule number 1, all the values have to be the same data type. So if you create an integer array, you can only put integers in it. No strings, no decimals, nothing else. No mixing and matching. And rule number 2, the data is stored in what's called contiguous memory. That's just a fancy way of saying all the values are stored side by side, one right after the other, with 0 gaps. This is the secret sauce that makes arrays so incredibly fast and efficient. So we've made our container and we know the rules, but how do we actually put stuff in or get it back out? The key to everything is something called an index. Think back to our container with its little compartments. Every single one of those boxes gets its own unique address, kind of like a house number on a street. That address is its index. It's how we pinpoint the exact location of any piece of data inside our array. And right here, this is probably the single most important, most confusing, and most critical thing for new programmers to burn into their brain. In the world of programming, we don't start counting at 1. We always start counting at 0. The first box is index 0. And because we start counting at 0, that leads us to a simple but really crucial rule. The index of the very last element in any array is always going to be its total size minus 1. So for our array that has a size of 5, the indexes are 0, 1, 2, 3, and the last one is 4. So how do you grab a value? It's actually super easy once you get the hang of it. You just write the name of the array, in our case A, followed by square brackets. And inside those brackets, you pop in the index of the item you want. So A and 2 would get us whatever's in that third box. Okay, so we've created our array, we've prepared our 5 rooms, but what's actually in those rooms the moment we create them? Before we put any of our own data inside. Are they just empty?
Well, here's a neat detail. The computer doesn't leave those spots empty. It's actually kind of helpful. The moment the array is created, it automatically fills each slot with a default value. For integers, that value is 0. For decimal numbers, or doubles, it's 0.0. And for things like text or strings, it uses a special placeholder value called null, which basically means nothing here yet.
And just like that, by understanding these few simple ideas, you've honestly unlocked a genuine programming superpower. This is the key to managing huge amounts of information easily and efficiently.
So let's do a super quick recap of the most important takeaways. Arrays let you store a bunch of values under one variable name. All those values have to be the exact same data type, and they're all stored side by side in memory. We get to them using an index that always starts at 0, and because of that, the last index is always the size minus 1. And finally, remember that brand new arrays are never really empty. They come pre-filled with default values.
Look, getting a handle on arrays is a massive step forward. It's like the difference between counting on your fingers and using a full-blown spreadsheet. It changes the game. So the only question left for you is, now that you have this amazing tool for organizing data, what are you going to build with it?